Alright, so today we're going to work on making one of the shapes that we drew an isographic and an orthographic of. It was the first shape you've drawn. Now we're going to go and use 123D to draw it three-dimensionally. The first thing I want everybody to make sure that they do not do is do not get tempted to use primitive shapes to accomplish your goal. We're gonna do this entire design using no primitives. So first thing I want you to do is go to the sketch tool, and we're gonna go to polyline. All right. Now we want this shape to be precise. We want it to be the exact right size. None of this guessing or seeing if it's close to right. So first thing you're going to do is click on the plane that you want to draw on, and then we're going to choose this, and we're going to go forward, and it's actually going to be 2 blocks length. So if each block is 3/4 of an inch, that would be 1.5 inches. So we're going to take, well, first off, we're going to change our measurements from millimeters. We're going to go to edit grid. We're going to change this from millimeters to inches. That'll be very helpful. Now we're going to go back to our polyline. We're going to choose right here, and we're going to move this up in the direction that we want, and we want it to go 1.5 inches, and we want it to stay at 180 degrees. Press enter again, enter 3 times. That's our first line. Next, we're going to go through, we're going to do another polyline. There we go. We're going to choose this little dot here. We're going to click it again. That tells us, if you look at how it's green down here, that tells us that we're connected to that line, that it's all one piece. We're going to go 1.5 again. Enter, enter, enter again. Okay. We now have 2 lines that are the exact same length. We're going to go yet again, another polyline. This time we're going to choose right here. Again, we're going to come down. We're going to see if we can drag it down 3/4 of an inch, 0.75 inches. This way. We're going to go this way, 0.75 inches. This way to here. And we're going to complete right here. And you see how we're selecting this. Now, if you get a shape that you've made like this and it ends up looking like that, where it's not blue on the inside, you didn't successfully contain the shape. It's not closed, so you won't be able to work with it three-dimensionally. You won't be able to extrude it. All right. So if that happens, find where you have a break, delete that piece of line, come back, make sure you click the white dot, and you connect them. All right. You can see that you have a correct shape whenever it looks like this, where it's closed in. It's blue. Looks real nice. If you ever get in a situation where your drawing gets real weird or wonky, you can always come over here and click the home button, or you can even drag a corner to accomplish what you want. All right, but our shape as of right now looks perfect. All right, now I always like to think of it like I'm drawing an orthographic. What we're going to do is, where you would have a solid line if you were looking at the top view, I like to come through with my polyline, click on the appropriate spot, and I'm actually going to go from here to here, and from here to here. And you can see there was a little X that appeared. It tells me that I've crossed into that plane. Now what I'm going to do is I've got 3 separate cubes. And I'm actually going to come in, I'm going to hold down my control button, and I'm going to click here and here. And then I'm going to use this little gear to extrude up. So we're going to extrude up, if it'll let us, extrude up. And we're going to say, we're going to go 3/4 of an inch, also known as 0.75. Press enter. All right, that's our first portion of our shape. Then we're going to come into here. We're going to extrude out again. This is going to be 3 cubes tall. So that would be if 1 is 3/4 and 2 is 1.5, this would be 2 1/4. So we're going to go 2.25. Press enter. All right, now we have successfully made our first shape. This is the one that we have in our engineering notebook. You can see I can delete that piece underneath. Things going a little wonky again. There we go. All right, this will be very similar to the shapes that you're going to be making for your puzzle cube. Let's make one more. Let's make one that's a little interesting. So this is our first shape we're going to make. Let's make one that isn't standard. So we're going to come in here, click right here, find our spot. We're going to go over 2 1/4, so 2.25. All right, that's our first line. We're then going to finish up our shape. So we're going to come over here, click here. You don't have to exit out. You don't have to use the enter key. I just really like to for my very first one. But you can see that this is at 0.75, and you just got to make sure that you're at 0 degrees. Something's not right here. I can already tell I have a mistake somewhere because it's 0.3 degrees, and it won't let me auto-click. So that means that this, if you scroll in, you can see it is just slightly off. That means that line is not correct. Somewhere in there, my mouse probably moved whenever I hit enter. I made a mistake somewhere. So we're going to come over here, click here. We're going to come out 2.25. We're going to come down 0.75 over 0.75. We're just going to keep working around. And the great thing about this shape is everything's going to be at 90, 180, 0 degrees. It's going to be really standard measurements. Everything's going to be 0.75 inches, 1.5 inch, or 2.25 inches. All right, so there's our first portion. I know I'm going to want a shape extruded from here. All right, so now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 cubes. We're going to click here, hold down control, click here, hold down, while still holding control, we're going to click here. You should have like a little Mickey Mouse looking thing. We're going to extrude up, and we don't want to extrude up 1 inch. So we're going to set to 0.75. Press enter. That's our first shape. We're going to come over here, we're going to choose extrude again. We're going to extrude up, and we're going to extrude up, what is it, 2.25. No, there we go. 2.25. Now, this shape, similar to this shape over here, but let's say that we wanted to have a little notch hanging out this side. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here. We're going to choose our polyline. Choose that. And we're going to go down from this edge. We're going to use the polyline tool to kind of give us an idea of where we're at. So we're going to go down 0.75, over, then back up, and over again. And now we have another cube, another shape on the side. All right, so we're going to extrude this out 0.75. And that'll get us our final shape, something with a little bit of an overhang. Now, if you were to go and 3D print this, you'd probably want to rotate this shape, but also you can see that this shows up as a few different shapes. See, I can click that and drag that off. So I'm going to hit Control Z, bring it back. But there's a lot of different shapes in here. So what you're going to want to do whenever you have an instance like that, where you have a piece that's obviously not a portion of the drawing, you're going to highlight everything you want. And you're going to go over here where it says Combine, and you're going to merge it. All right, once you've clicked on Merge, you're going to have your target solid, which is going to be your main object, and your source solid. Then once you've clicked them both, you press Enter. Now they are successfully one piece. I want everybody to make sure that you have your work and it looks exactly like this. You are then going to upload an image of it like this with your name added. You can just place this on the plane right here, double click, add your name. That way I can see it. Take a snapshot. You're going to upload this into Google Classroom, and just make sure it's a snapshot. Please don't share it. Make sure you upload it.